The period of recovery in Germany during the late 1920s was largely shaped by the leadership of Gustav Stresemann, who played a pivotal role in stabilizing the country after the turmoil of hyperinflation and political unrest. Stresemann, who served as Chancellor briefly in 1923 and then as Foreign Minister until his death in 1929, recognized that Germany's future depended on economic stability and international cooperation. One of Stresemann's first significant actions was to introduce a new currency to halt the disastrous hyperinflation that had crippled the German economy. In November 1923, the Rentenmark was introduced, replacing the worthless Papiermark. The Rentenmark was backed by the value of Germany's industrial and agricultural assets, and its introduction helped to restore confidence in the German economy. This currency reform was a critical step in stabilizing prices and laying the groundwork for economic recovery. Beyond domestic stabilization, Stresemann understood that Germany needed to rebuild its relationships with other countries to regain its place in the international community. His efforts to foster international cooperation were instrumental in securing Germany's recovery. One of the key initiatives in this regard was the Dawes Plan of 1924, which restructured Germany's reparations payments to make them more manageable. The plan also provided for significant loans from the United States to help rebuild the German economy. These loans were crucial, allowing Germany to invest in industry, infrastructure, and social programs, leading to a period of economic growth and relative prosperity. Stresemann continued his policy of diplomacy and cooperation with the Young Plan in 1929, which further reduced the total amount of reparations and extended the payment period. This plan was another step towards easing the financial burden on Germany and stabilizing its economy. Stresemann's foreign policy also focused on improving relations with Germany's former enemies. In 1925, Germany signed the Locarno Pact with France, Belgium, and other neighboring countries. This agreement guaranteed the borders between Germany, France, and Belgium, and it was seen as a significant step toward peace in Western Europe. The Locarno Pact helped to ease tensions and paved the way for Germany's entry into the League of Nations in 1926, marking its return to the international stage as a respected member of the global community. Stresemann's commitment to international peace was further demonstrated by Germany's participation in the Kellogg-Briand Pact of 1928, in which numerous countries, including Germany, France, the United States, and the United Kingdom, agreed to renounce war as a means of resolving international disputes. This pact was symbolic of the growing desire for peace and stability in Europe, and it further cemented Germany's role as a cooperative and peaceful nation under Stresemann's leadership. While Germany had begun to recover economically and politically, this recovery was precarious and heavily dependent on the flow of loans from the United States. The Dawes Plan and subsequent American investments fueled much of Germany's economic growth during the late 1920s. However, this reliance on foreign capital made Germany vulnerable to external economic shocks. The prosperity of the Weimar Republic was built on a fragile foundation, as the economy remained susceptible to changes in the global financial system. Despite the relative stability and growth achieved during Stresemann's tenure, the underlying issues that had plagued Germany since the end of World War I had not been fully resolved. The dependence on US loans meant that any disruption in American financial support could have severe consequences for the German economy. This vulnerability would become painfully evident with the onset of the Great Depression in 1929, which brought an end to the period of recovery and led to a new era of economic hardship and political instability in Germany. Stresemann's efforts had provided a temporary reprieve, but the long-term challenges facing the Weimar Republic remained unresolved, setting the stage for future crises.